Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. It's Citizen AY. You're watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak with the power. Before we go too far ahead, I'd urge you all to please go ahead and subscribe to Citizen AY. Subscribe, hit the notification button, and of course, give us a thumbs up. Help us reach more people. Thank you very much. This topic is very, very important. It's about the LNG gas. President Tinubu meets investors over $5 billion FLNG project. We need to start. There's a concern I have. Number one, we need to start delinking our naira from the dollar and for Western currencies because it's going to crash. It is going to crash. Many countries are no longer the BRIC countries: Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. They are not. They have a huge economy combined, and they are no longer accepting dollars. So when if we keep using dollars, the US will be exporting their high interest rates into our own economy. We are doing ourselves a huge disservice by using dollar. We really need to be very alert to what is going on. Instead, we should be linking our naira to our gold mineral reserves in our land, which is over 600,000 tons. And we can build our economy, and we can trade with other economies in Africa, certainly using African, accepting African dollars or African shillings and all of that, within ourselves. It is actually destroying our economy by actually using dollars. We need to really be very, very clear about this. And our first point of call should be to trade within among African countries to get the things we need first and foremost. That should be our first point of call before going out of the country and out of the continent to do anything else. That's what I like to say. Now, on this particular issue, I want you to watch something that I'm about to play. I want you to watch this, and I'm going to just put it up here quickly. Sorry about that. I'm just going to get that up there. 1 minute. That's not what I was trying to do. We'll get it up and running now. Here we go. So let me bring it here. I wanted to just see something, and it's important to understand how critical this is. If we do not, those who are our leaders, clearly I was hoping that they would be able to pick that up, but they haven't been able to pick it up. So let me see what I can do here. So I'm gonna do something here. Before I go too far ahead, let me listen to what she's saying, and I will bring in what this man is saying. I'll listen to a few minutes of what she's saying here, and I will bring in one of the real underlying issues that we have not addressed as Africans collectively, and we need to begin to do so. Watch this.
4 weeks after President Bola Tinubu put a halt to the removal of fuel subsidy in the country, attention is apparently zeroed in on gas for succor and as a sustainable energy divergence.
So now,
It's for this reason that the president began his day by receiving investors from the natural and petroleum gas sectors in the State House.
Listen.
The investors, accompanied by the ambassador of France and deputy ambassador of Japan to Nigeria, wanted the president's backing for a floating liquefied natural gas plant, which could crash the cost of gas in the country.
Now, let me just quickly.
The president, according to a statement released by the presidential spokesperson, Mr. Dele Alaki, says when the facility gets upstream by the fourth quarter of 2026, it would process 1.5 million metric tons of liquefied natural gas for foreign market and produce 300,000 metric tons of liquefied petroleum gas, LPG, for domestic use.
Now, we will come and listen to that part of the story. But here's what I want you to really listen to, and listen intently. We're going to put this in the middle. We need to put it in the middle of it because many of us are unaware of the plans of Western and indeed the developed world, as in the China and the Western world. Listen to the words of Professor Howard Nicholas. Listen to his words. I want you to listen intently. And this is why we have to be very careful about our manufacturing base. The refinery is not being fixed. Instead of fixing the refinery, you are ignoring the refinery and you're going for liquid natural gas. This is, again, I don't see how we can continue to do this. But I'm bringing this to attention. Listen to the words of Howard Nicholas. This is the agenda of the Western world in its entirety and other countries as well. And we need to be aware that that is going to impact our development if we do not really take cognizance of this and begin to act appropriately to counter it. Here we go.
So, what this presentation is fundamentally designed to say is this. Africa historically, sub-Saharan Africa, has been fundamental to the global prosperity.
I hope you understand that.
The advanced countries.
Listen,
okay? And
listen.
Africa had a role to play. It has a role as a raw material producer. We will not allow sub-Saharan Africa to escape that. Okay, we do everything to keep sub-Saharan Africa where it is, also impoverished. It's absolutely vital for the prosperity of everyone else. So let's get clear about that. Okay, and this means all the economic structures, all the global institutions, and the economics we teach everyone is all designed to keep Africa exactly where it is. And whether it is Europe or US or now China, it's always the same. We need Africa to be impoverished because we need those raw materials and we need them dirt cheap. Okay,
listen.
So that's the message.
Listen.
It doesn't mean to say that there's nothing Africans can do.
That's exactly my point.
Okay, but this is the opposition that they're fighting. This is what it's about. Because if Africa does do something different, I assure you living standards of all those in Europe and North America and Asia is going to fall. Okay? And that is a big price to pay. I assure you that the West is not going to allow that without a big fight. Okay, so this is what it's fundamentally about. What I want to show you is how these structures are operating. It's just 20 minutes, so we can't do very much, but just to give you a little bit of an idea. And why I keep the ideology part there is because we are part of the producers of ideology at universities and academic.
I will come back to that bit of it. Now we're going to listen to the other bit of President Tinubu. Now we're going to listen to the other bit of President Tinubu. And this is very important. It's important to understand what is being done here. So we're going to go back and listen to the other bit of President Tinubu's speech now. Let's go ahead. Plans. Listen.
The investors reaffirmed their commitment to help Nigeria shore up her liquefied petroleum gas production capacity.
We've signed
right. They reaffirm, you see.
$5 billion with Afrexim Bank for multiple floating LNG projects.
Now, I'm going to play you back the line of what he said. I need you to understand what is being done here. I need you to understand. Now, let's play it back again. Let's go back to what he said here. So we're going to go back here. Listen to this now.
Because we need those raw materials and we need them dirt cheap. Okay, so that's the message. It doesn't mean to say that there's nothing Africans can do.
Back again. Let me go back here.
Of the advanced countries. Okay, and Africa had a role to play. It has a role as a raw material producer. We will not allow sub-Saharan Africa to escape that. Okay, we do everything to keep sub-Saharan Africa where it is, also impoverished. It's absolutely vital for the prosperity of everyone else. So let's get clear about that.
So,
okay? And this means all the economic structures, all the global institutions, and the economics we teach everyone is all designed to keep Africa exactly where it is.
Indeed. See that?
And whether it is Europe or US or now China, it's always the same. We need Africa to be impoverished.
See?
Because we need those raw materials and we need them dirt cheap. Okay, so that's the message.
So that's the message that they're doing.
To say
those who are here,
can do.
Those you see in this picture.
Okay, but this is the.
Those you see in that picture, their job is to keep Africa impoverished. They're telling the government, oh, we're here to work for you, do everything, but they're doing everything they can to make sure that we never manufacture on our own. They're doing everything to make sure of that. That is why we're saying what we're saying now. Professor Howard Nicholas is, I think, is some sort of professor in terms of international affairs and things like this, and he's actually exposed this, and he's not making that. That's the plan. That is their plan. And the second part of what I will show you in that broadcast is how they put it in place. So when President Tinubu is signing this project thinking that his community is doing something, you are impoverishing, indeed deepening the impoverishment of our people, because their plan is to impoverish us. We need to understand that. Now let's go and listen to the rest of this before we proceed.
And Deputy Ambassador of Japan to Nigeria wanted the president's backing for a floating liquefied natural gas plant, which could crash the cost of gas in the country.
So when President Tinubu thinks that he's signing a deal that is actually going to improve the nation, all the smiles you see on their face, it belies this plan, this strategy. It belies it. Listen to the words. Listen to the words of Professor Howard Nicholas.
It is also impoverished. It's
You see? What?
had a role to play. It has a role as a raw material producer. We will not allow sub-Saharan Africa to escape that. Okay, we do everything to keep sub-Saharan Africa where it is, also impoverished. It's absolutely vital for the prosperity of everyone else. So let's get clear about that. Okay, and this means all the economic structures, all the global institutions, and the economics we teach everyone is all designed to keep Africa exactly where it is.
There you go. So when President Tinubu is signing and thinking he's signing a very good deal, it isn't a good deal. And these are what African leaders as a whole must really comprehend and understand. We have to do deals among ourselves as Africans first. Africans must work with Africans first and foremost before anybody else, because that is where we build our trust. Now let's go ahead.
The president, according to a statement released by the presidential spokesperson, Mr. Dele Alaki, says when the facility gets upstream by the fourth quarter of 2026, it would process 1.5 million metric tons of liquefied natural gas for foreign market and produce 300,000 metric tons of liquefied petroleum gas, LPG, for domestic use.
Can you see 1.5 million for foreign markets and 3 million metric tons for domestic use? It should be the other way around, I'm afraid. It should be the other way around. And we should be, this already tells you what the plan is. They're not going to let it run. They're not. We will end up again being the same thing with the oil. You know, with the oil, refineries, we have 4 refineries, they're not working. Guess what? It will get to the point we will spend more money to build the refineries, and we will spend more money to be importing the processed gas. The same thing is happening with petrol right now. We've got 4 refineries, they're not working, but we're spending more money to bring in subsidies, to get our people paying through the nose. This is what we need to be aware of. This is why I'm saying what I'm saying. We need to really be aware of what is being done here. And we have to fix those refineries. That is where you and I come in. That is where you and I as citizens come in. We must insist on that we exercise our powers. Sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government, through its constitution, derives all its powers and authority. And then, Section 14.2c, the participation of the people in the government shall be in accordance with the provisions of this constitution. We need to become active participants in our governance. No ifs, no buts. All of us collectively. Unless that, we will continue to be impoverished. And then finally, of course, not finally, on top of one of the things I said before, I've spoken about this, and I want to talk about it in more detail. This should be our top priority. Fixing the refineries, Operation Fix the Refineries, should be our top priority. So if we do not already fix those refineries, getting it working, what's the point of fixing, buying? What guarantees do we have that the LNG will not be in the same situation? What guarantees do we have? That's the question we should be asking. So anyway, I'm just wanting to just put that there. So I'll leave this on the screen. Take a screenshot of the section 42 and 42C and share it in your community. We need to do that. So let's carry on.
The investors reaffirmed their commitment to help Nigeria shore up her liquefied petroleum gas production capacity.
Empty promises.
Signed a $5 billion with Afreximbank for multiple floating LNG project.
Empty promises.
Bank is working on the financials and is aggregating both the debt and equity for this project. This project alone will deliver 25% of the requirement of LPG in country Nigeria. On the part of job creation, this project has the ability to create 7,000 jobs for Nigeria.
I have a problem with that. A big problem. I'll listen to this side of it later. I don't want to listen to that side of it, what they're talking about now. What I want to do is to make you understand. Let's now go to the second part of the discussion I was saying before. Listen to the plan that the West has in place for us that we will never develop. Listen to this bit here. I think it was here I got to. Listen, I got to here. So let's go ahead.
Enterprise. Okay, so the job of many.
So let me see.
Of the producer.
Listen.
Just to give you a fight.
Listen.
Okay, so this is what it's fundamentally about.
Yes.
What I want to show you is how these structures are operating. It's just 20 minutes, so we can't.
We're not going to spend 20 minutes. We're just going to listen to what has been said here.
And why I keep the ideology part there is because we are part of the producers of ideology.
There you go.
At universities and academic.
So the West are producers of ideology, religion, business, finance. It's all an ideology, and it's all designed to keep you in their world, keep you captured in that world, and doing what they want you to do to keep you oppressed and suppressed and impoverished in your land. It's important we understand the psychology of what is being done here. Let's go forward.
Institutions, we are complicit in this whole enterprise. Okay, so the job of many Western academics is to convince Africans they have to keep doing what they're doing.
Do you understand that? So when you see President Tinubu signing the agreements, that's telling us to believe in their systems and of course the financial structures of the West is collapsing. Many countries are de-dollarizing, and the fact that we are even trading and talking about loans in terms of dollars shows that the President Tinubu and the West, many in Nigeria, we're still not awake to the fact that we need to be paying for we should be doing trading with naira, exclusively naira that is linked to gold. I mean, I see the statement made, and they are quoting the cost in dollars. That's a slave economy. We should be promoting naira. This is one of the reasons why we're talking about Yoruba Nation. We should be promoting naira. It should be quantified in naira. Anytime you are paying in dollars, we are paying on top of you pay the amount of money required in naira plus the cost of changing to dollars. It is economic madness to continue in this manner. Economic madness. Let's listen on.
Okay, and to show them it's your fault that you're poor.
You see
not
that?
Our fault.
You see?
It's your fault that you're poor.
You see?
So
when the corruption happens, it's our fault. But the systems that allows corruption to happen, they are put in place subtly, ensuring that our manufacturing base never takes place. It never takes root. And they allow avenues for corruption to fester. We need to begin to address these issues, please. So carry on, listen on.
This is what we do in academic institutions.
See?
And I want to show that as well. To start, this is what it's basically about, so you know what it's about. But I want to just show you the extent to which Africa is specializing.
You see?
In the production of raw materials and basic agricultural goods. We know the basic forces.
You know, the man said, they'll create 7,000 jobs for Nigerians. They will say that. But majority of that 7,000 jobs will be for people they call expats. The expats are, of course, colonials. We need to really wake up. And these are the kind of things that we are trying to really awaken many people to understand how we must address the concerns that we face collectively and how we can find solutions for African problems within Africa. The solutions don't lie elsewhere, they lie in Africa. If you go outside of Africa, you're adding to the problem and you're preventing solutions from really coming to the forth, coming forward. So I really have grave concerns about this. Grave concerns. It sounds great on paper, but in reality, this is the agenda that is being fulfilled. It's cleverly hidden. The agenda that's being hidden and fulfilled is the Western idea to keep Africa impoverished. And I wanted to just state that. So let's carry on.
That have caused this underdevelopment. We know it's colonization.
You see.
I will not discuss that very much because my colleague speaker is going to go into some aspects of this. But I do want to discuss the global economic structures, the global financial institutions, and economic ideology, briefly, to give you a flavor of those. Let me start with this. You can't really see it so easily, but if those of you who are interested, you want the PowerPoint, I'm sure we can make it available to you.
You see that?
But the thing that you really need to see
is
the
look.
top line.
Oh, it's not showing us. We can't see it,
The
but
extent of dependency is captured by this.
we can't see it, but
Okay.
it's making us dependent on raw material production.
With all other income groups, and what you see is essentially in that one statistic how dependent sub-Saharan Africa is on raw material production.
Did you understand that?
This is
That is it.
Part
That is it.
of
And that's why they're coming to tell us, oh, they will help us in making production. Look at the oil refinery. We have 4 refineries, they're not working. And we're spending more money importing processed oil, when all of that we could be doing ourselves. It's all designed to ensure that Africa never produces anything. We need to break the back of that agenda. That's what I wanted to bring to your attention. I don't want to talk more about what President Tinubu signed that deal. It's not a good deal. It is a concern when you look at the bigger picture of the plan of the Western world to ensure that Africa remains impoverished and only producing mineral resources. We need to be adding value, and we must do that on African soil. That is where we need to have the greatest impact to improve the lives and the quality of lives and our infrastructure base in Africa. And we need to be bold enough as Africans to do that. We must work together on that. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'll come back and talk more about it in detail. But let me just hear the last few minutes of what he said, seconds of what he said here, and then we'll wrap it up.
what makes sub-Saharan Africa beat. Okay?
So, you can see now that the agenda is to ensure that Africa never adds value. It's about we become only a production, we only produce mineral resources. And that is what we need to change. So the idea of anybody, Japanese and the French coming together and we are signing in dollars, I mean, let me show you what I mean. That idea is a crazy idea. I don't want to even entertain discussing at length what they're going to, I'll come and look at this at a different, but I wanted to show you when they signed that deal and then they're talking about the figures and then they, let me show you, sorry. I want to just, here we go. So, sorry. My hand was a bit tricky, but happy. I'll get there. Just give me a minute. There you go. See what they've done here. All of that, and 1.5 million tons of metric, gas and everything else, and for $5 billion and all of that. They do not want us doing that ourselves. They want to be involved in that process. Just look at the oil refinery. The oil refinery, we have 4 refineries, they're not working. It's designed to be so. They want us to spend money on those refineries so that we don't have funds and to be dependent on what they give us via us importing processed goods. That's the mentality. It's the same ideology. We need to wake up. We really need to wake up in Africa. So it's on the face of it, it looks like a good deal, but I've shown you the plan. You've heard what Professor Howard Nicholas said. Africa is designed to just become mineral resource producers. That's it, nothing else. They don't want us to have a manufacturing base. And we need to break the back of that agenda collectively. Ladies and gentlemen, I think I'll probably wrap it up here. I'll come back later on. We talk about other subjects some more. But for now, I want you to please go ahead, subscribe to Citizen AY, hit notification button, and of course, give us a thumbs up. Help us reach more people. Share this broadcast. It's very, very important information contained within. Particularly listen to words of Professor Howard Nicholas again. It gives you a clear agenda that the West has in keeping Africans impoverished. Nigeria being the largest, most populous, we need to be aware of that fact and begin to really take steps to actually address it. So please subscribe to Citizen AY, hit notification button, and of course, give us the thumbs up. Thank you for watching. You've been watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. I'll be back later on. Thank you and bye for now. Bye for now.